FromSoftware is known for making games that are hard and a little intimidating. And as a result, it's hard for people to dive headfirst into an experience like that. Some people just don't want to spend their time playing a hard game. When I first heard about the Dark Souls series, I shied away because I play Mega Man. I'm fighting robots that have a weakness and it's easy, but Bloodborne has gut-spewing monsters, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice has gigantic apes that just slam you into the ground. So I wasn't exactly rushing to play a game like Dark Souls. I had Bloodborne, but I got far in it with a friend, and then when they stopped playing with me, I had nowhere to go. I was stuck, and I was not good enough on my own, so I quit. It wasn't until Dark Souls 3 that I finally got the courage to try it out, and now I love every one of FromSoftware's games. I'm excited for the new one coming out called Elden Ring. I just think that they make great games. I thought it'd be nice to make a video that unpacks the 5 that I've played and talks about their pros and cons as the one you could use as an entry. I'm going to go through these in the order that I played them. So up first is Dark Souls 3. One of the pros of choosing Dark Souls 3 as your first FromSoftware game is that there's a lot more variety in the third Dark Souls than there is in the other two. Previous entries in the series really didn't promote other playstyles as well as this game does. And I can't actually think of anything bad to say about Dark Souls 3 as your first FromSoftware game. I think it's a really good entry into the suite of horror and difficulty that FromSoftware games does present. That isn't to say the other 4 games on this list aren't good options as your first FromSoftware game. After Dark Souls 3, I knew that I could beat a FromSoftware game, so I went back to Bloodborne. Bloodborne does have the best onboarding of any of these 5 games. It teaches you its ways at a good pace, and it gets you accustomed to the systems that you have to use to bring your character forward and get through this really gross landscape, which actually brings me to my negative point, is that if you're not into guts and Lovecraftian beasts, this might not be the one for you. I know game aesthetic is very important when you're gonna sit with something for hours on end, and Bloodborne might gross you out. There's guts everywhere. There's no other way to put it. That being said, Bloodborne is the game that brought FromSoftware to the mainstream, so maybe that is a good first game. Third up on the list is actually the original Dark Souls, Dark Souls 1. The best part about starting with Dark Souls is that you'll have the most prescribed Dark Souls experience. Dark Souls is the game that all of the other games in this list get compared to. Playability, level design, character development, all of it. Everyone agrees Dark Souls is awesome. The biggest downside to Dark Souls is its age. Even after a remaster, you can still sort of feel how clunky the controls were when the game first came out. There are some quality of life improvements in Dark Souls 3 that you will not have when playing Dark Souls, so just keep that in mind if you're going to use Dark Souls as your first. The fourth game on this list is actually my favorite of the bunch, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. One of the reasons I love this game to be your first FromSoftware game is that the mobility is so much fun. Jump and do wall runs and use a grappling hook in this game. It's just fun to move the character around. And I think that goes a long way as you're getting into it. It just feels nice to jump in a game by FromSoftware, so maybe that's why it felt pretty novel at the time. Unfortunately, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is the most difficult game on this list, and that is because it relies more so on your skill as a player rather than your character's level. There's a lot you can do to make the game easier in the other games on this list by leveling up correctly and knowing what weapons to use, but in Sekiro, there's only one playstyle. You have your katana and you have parrying. There are items you can get in Sekiro that modify your playstyle, but it doesn't create a whole new character build, so you will have to get used to playing the game with parrying. If you don't master the one playstyle there is, you're kind of out of luck with Sekiro. It is my favorite game on this list, so if that means anything to you, totally try it first and let me know what you think of it too. And the last game on this list is Dark Souls 2, and that is because I'm currently working on it and I only just came around on Dark Souls 2. This close to being thrown out the window, but now it's starting to earn a place in my heart and I'm enjoying it, I guess. It took me a long time to get to this point, but let's talk about how it is as a first FromSoftware game. The best part about Dark Souls 2 is the community, and what I mean by that is that there are endless amounts of guides online. And if you stream on any platform, The Dark Souls 2 community shows up for those streams. They love watching this game get played by new people. The community is going to come in and hang out. I had people arguing about Dark Souls 2 versus Dark Souls 1 in my chat. It was a lot of fun. The community around Dark Souls 2 is so strong, and I think that actually speaks a lot about the next point, is that it is unlike any of the other 4 games I've talked about. It's its own thing. If you want an open and closed experience, this might be good, but if you're not willing to learn about a stat called ADP or what iframes are in Dark Souls, then you're not going to get very far. I actually managed to be playing on hard mode for half the time, and I did not know it until somebody in my Twitch chat told me. That's just a risk you take with Dark Souls 2, but there it is. So that's about all I wanted to do. My goal is to see if I can excite more people to jump into Dark Souls if they thought they couldn't. Like I said, I was not seeking out these challenges. I am not by any means some sort of pro gamer when it comes to Dark Souls. I suck at these games, but they are very fun to get through once you figure out one that works for you. If this list did help you decide on a FromSoftware game to start with, I would love to know in the comments which one you went with and why. And I really do like all the games on this list in their own way, so I'd love to just have a conversation about it. Which of the FromSoftware games would you tell somebody to start with as their first? I'm interested in seeing that too. Open to this conversation. Let's talk about it. If you did get anything out of this video, please leave a thumbs up. It lets me know that you liked the video. And above all else, the best way to give me positive feedback on this channel, if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It really does make my day when I wake up and I see a YouTube comment of somebody talking about Metal Gear Survive. People love that game apparently. I didn't know that. So I'm really happy that that video started that conversation. I want more of that to be happening. So chime in. I'll see you guys in the next video and have a great day. We slightly move it. Oh. Okay. Okay, no, that's cool. Okay, so when he's shooting fire, stay away from his face. Who knew that would... These are the pro strats.